Well, if Apex doesn't fix some problems that it has, I'm not even sure it'll be around, to be completely honest. Hey guys, it's NestFace. I did a little Q&A with Remy. If you don't know who that is, he will be linked in the description below. We mostly talked about what it's like to be a streamer, particularly a female in the streaming and gaming industry. It was a really interesting conversation that we all got to share, and I would love to hear your guys' feedback in the comments. If you have any questions or anything like that, I would love to talk more about everything. If you like the video, that would help so much. If you're not subscribed, be sure to do that already. And I hope you guys really enjoy this content because it was super fun to make. But yeah, let's get into it.
Quick introductions. I'm Remy, obviously. The co-host for today is my friend Amy. She is a Tarkov player and also plays Apex. Okay, so this is Ness. Ness, Amy, Ness.
Hi, Amy.
So I've been following you, Ness, on TikTok, I think for a couple months now. I recently saw a clip of yours on TikTok that was disgusting. You like picked up a Kraber from a box or a drop, instantly went up in a horizon and sniped some dude out of the air, and yeah, it was disgusting. So I just wanted to say that I saw that clip and it was sick.
Aw, thank you. Yeah, I actually got a lot of negative feedback on that video, but it did really well. So that's all that matters, right? Who did it? I don't know. Trolls ever. TikTok trolls. And TikTok is also like, they don't watch your content. They're seeing, 10 seconds of a clip of you. Like, they don't know anything about you or your stream or anything. So you gotta take it with a grain of salt. But I get a lot of negative correlation with like Lulu, literally because I'm blonde, like no other reason. And because I picked up a Kraber in that video, like I have hundreds of comments of people being like, Lulu's better, you're trash, like, and I'm like, in none of that video am I like relating myself to Lulu. Like, they're connecting.
That's so frustrating, especially because like there's so many like men that are good at Apex, right? But they're not. I mean, they could, but most of the time people just respect them because they're good at the game, and they're not going to be like, oh, Asu's done that same thing but better.
Yeah, you're trash, you're not Asu. Like, it's it doesn't happen. Like, no one's like, oh, you're no how, like, you're dog shit. Like, sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss.
Yeah, I agree with what Amy said. It's like, for some reason, it's actually one of my questions that I'm going to be asking you, so I don't want to get too into it now, but for some reason it seems like girls really get a rough time in the gaming world, it's, in some ways I feel like it's helpful, it seems like, to be a girl, but in a lot of ways it seems like you guys got to go through a lot of shit.
Absolutely, there's perks and downsides for sure.
What's the origin? Tell me NestFace. Give me a little NestFace origin story.
So NestFace literally originated, I think I was like 13 or 14. And you guys remember when like spelling fat with a PH was cool? Like, it was, were you guys, was that a thing for you guys? Yeah, so, I had the double X's before and after on my Xbox gamer tag, and it just, I don't know, it just kind of always stuck with me. Part of me like wishes that I made a name that had nothing to do with my name so that I could have like this, like, you know what I mean? Like, different identity,
Sure.
But it's fine. It's fun.
That's me. My name's Mike, but I'm Remy LeBeau. What game mode do you prefer? Do you like arenas or do you like the BR?
I don't know. I like both. I always start out with arenas, but I do find, I don't know if you find this too, Amy, but people are a lot more toxic to me in arenas, like men typically. Like, every time I play an arena game, at least like if I play like 3, at least like one guy is like giving me some kind of crap, which I think comes from that style of gameplay, because like it happens in Valorant and stuff like that too for me. But so I think I do enjoy pubs a little bit more because people are just like I just had a team in pubs help me farm like 30-30 kills with a 30-30 repeater for like a one of my mods was like, I'll give you $3 a kill or whatever.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, in arenas that would never happen. Like, no one would ever help me. Like,
yeah, 0% chance.
But I like both though.
Funny. That's funny you say that, because so I didn't know you played Valorant too. That's cool. I like
Hi,
Valorant.
Taylor. Hello.
That's another fun game. But yeah, as a man, it blows my mind that men who come across women in games are toxic to them. Like, it literally makes no sense to me. It blows my mind because I feel like every man thinks or says like, I wish I could find a girl who was a gamer, or like, you know what I mean? And then when they come across girls who game, they give them a hard time. It's like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
It's so dumb. It's like, we should be encouraging, first of all, anybody to play games. And second of all, especially women. Like, it's so nice to see more and more women and girls getting involved in gaming. Like,
oh, absolutely.
I don't want to get into it. Sorry.
I do think things are changing. Luckily, like I do see a change in like I'm not like a crazy feminist by any means, but I do like my chat and my community is very like, if someone says something sexist in chat, like before I see it, my chat is already like, dude, this isn't okay, or like saying it this way is inappropriate. Like I do feel like us like speaking up about it is like making change, and like, you know what I mean? But I think it still is a problem for sure.
So, you're a streamer. Do you stream? This isn't one of the questions, but just to get a little to know about you. Do you stream full time?
No. So I'm a hairdresser. I started my own hair business like 10 years ago. Actually, I just hit 10 years. It's kind of crazy. But I'm self-employed, so I can work as much or as little as I want. And I have taken like a little bit of a step back doing hair. I only probably see like 20 clients a week, and I used to see like close to 40.
Wow.
Yeah, so I do like 2 really long days of doing hair, and then I stream 3 days a week, and then I use like 1 of my spare days to do like content. So I have 1 full day off a week.
That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah, it's nice. Cool. It's a lot of burnout. I'm like there's some days I want to quit doing hair, and then there's other days I'm like, I spent 10 years on it. So it's like an inner struggle that I have to figure out what's right for me.
But okay, so I know you do, you stream. I know your partner, you were just saying you stream 3 or 4 days a week usually. Do you also do cosplay?
Yeah.
So my first question for you is this, on a less serious note. What's your favorite cosplay you've ever done? And what's your least favorite cosplay you've ever done?
My favorite is Wraith. I feel like Wraith is when people really gave me like recognition and were like, wow, there's like you're doing something different, or like I can see like the work you're putting in. Crap, hold on, I just dropped the wrong gun. I'm not good at multitasking. Okay, so yeah, Wraith I put so much work into Wraith. I bought like the fabric. I did every little detail. I learned a lot about just cosplaying in general with that one. So I think, and I was looking at a clip the other day, and I was like 300 subs, and like, well, we're doing it, guys. And it's so crazy because like that was a goal that like, now I'm like pretty steady at 1,000, and I was like just thanking my chat today, like for being supportive, and like looking back and being like, wow, like, I don't know, 6 to 8 months ago, it was just so different. You know what I mean? So not just like the cosplay, but like everything. Like I had like a Twitter post about my Wraith cosplay, like blow up and go viral, and I got a lot of exposure from that. So I think that in my head, like that cosplay just will be always special to me, because someone finally like was like, wow, this takes hours outside of your streaming. Like it was just like the recognition of it. It's like a weird cool. Like, I don't know, like I've always been super into Halloween and like dressing up and like being people like that you're not, you know what I mean? So it's not just like, oh, I like this game, I want to dress up like this character. Like I remember like one of my Halloween costumes in high school was like Yuna from Final Fantasy, and I got made so much fun of because nobody knew who I was. And so it's just like, you know what I mean? Like looking back, and now I'm like, oh, I wish I kept that costume. I would like cosplay it now,
Right, yeah. Right.
But so yeah, there's like a fun part of like making something and being proud of it that like I really enjoy too. I wish I could sew better.
So do you have one that you don't like? Like, did you have one that maybe you wish you did a little better, you got like bad reactions from or something?
I think my Revenant cosplay was so uncomfortable to wear. And like my makeup, like I just kept smearing it, and as stream went on, like, oh god.
Okay, so we talked about this a little bit. Going to another question here. Would you say overall, is it easier or harder as a female streamer?
I think that it's hard because I will never know like exactly, you know, who it's, I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily easier. Like if you're pretty, yeah, people are going to click on you if you're whatever, like, but you have to kind of entertain them and give them that content to keep them there. Like I streamed for like 6 months before anyone watched me besides like my family having me tabbed because I didn't read chat. I didn't post content. I literally just wanted to play the game. Like it wasn't, there was nothing, you know, around like being an entertainer. And in my opinion, if you're not like top 5% of like, you know, like how great gameplay, you can't really like ignore chat or content, you know? Like you have to really have something else that you're bringing to the table because there's so many people to watch now, you know? So do I think being a female streamer makes it easier to have someone click on me? Sure, absolutely. Do I think it's worth like the negative comments that you get all the time? Like I have someone in my chat every day basically telling me like, I only have this because I'm a female, not because of the work I put in, right? You know, and I have like TikTok comments, which is a whole nother world.
TikTok is brutal.
Right. People telling me I have like woman privilege or like women have no talent, you know? So there's things that can give you an advantage as being a female streamer, but there's definitely things, you know, again, that make it hard being a female streamer. So I don't think females have it necessarily easier. I think things are just different for females. I don't know, in the hair industry, I compare it to like, you know, if somebody, my salon, there's one male hairdresser, you know, and women love male hairdressers. Like they obsess over them. I don't know why, it's a thing. But like men grow their clientele so quickly because women just love male hairdressers. Like it's just the strangest thing. But I think in the gaming world, it's like the exact opposite, which is, it's kind of funny because I'm in both industries and I can see that. But people think like, oh, like you'll get like subs and stuff, but there's a lot of men in the community that won't actually financially support you because they don't want to be considered like a simp, right? So yeah, so you know, there's this like double-edged sword where it's like people think, oh, you're a female, that's why people thought like all this, but it's like, no, I mean, there's definitely people that also avoid supporting even if they want to because of that.
That's actually a really good comparison, you know, because it almost is like a mirror image just flipped. It seems to me like as a female streamer, there's like it's a little bit easier to get off the ground and to get the ball rolling. But you guys have an unfortunate glass ceiling, right? Where it's like you gotta, you know, with men, it's like very difficult to get your name out there because like you guys said, it's so saturated, right? But if you are able to, it's like the sky's the limit, you know? Like you can take it as far as you want. But it seems like with women, it might be a little bit of a harder time to get to that elite mark, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
Whereas it might be a little bit easier, not easier, but it might be a little bit more, you know, easier to get off the ground as a female streamer. At least that's how I kind of see it. But you know, from a couple of the toughies and from other, you know, females that I've been involved with like throughout my streaming tenure, and some of the stuff you guys have to go through is just like not okay. And you know, it's really, you guys have it tough.
I think it's like, it is tough, but like learning to let things that people say not bother you. And there's still things that bother me. Like, I think sexist comments are the one thing that I really do like let get to me too much. But you know, like having your time, and this sounds so lame, but I'll like write about it. You know what I mean? Like I'll want to go like post about it and like do all this stuff. And sometimes I do just to like let people know what we deal with, because I think that's important. But to not like, I don't want to oversaturate and make my channel like a negative place, but I do want to like bring these things to people's attention that like certain things aren't okay to say. But definitely like learning to not let those things bother you is really important.
I get a lot of people who come into my chat and who will just come in and it's clearly a copy and pasted message. you know, and they'll say things like, you know, Jesus saves and, you know, all just kind of like religious messages. How do you feel as a religious person? Because I'm not a religious person. How do you feel when you see stuff like that?
I think that if it's only spreading positivity, that's totally fine. Because there's a ton of copy pastas, right, of people being trolls or rude or like different things, you know. But I probably wouldn't go post that in someone's stream if they didn't have like religious backgrounds in their like biography. You know what I mean? When people post it in my channel, I'm not surprised at all because my bio says like I love Jesus and I have a cross emote. You know what I mean? And I'm not like some holy like streamer, like, you know what I mean? But like I do like want my stream to feel like they can ask me questions or we can talk about God and it's not like a weird place. And I grew up like very spiritually religious. So like I became a Christian like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So my faith is very much like non-dom. I don't like, it's not my place to judge. Like there's obviously things in Christianity like that are, yeah, no, we don't do this or we shouldn't do this or like this is a sin. But like that, none of that is my place. So if someone in my chat like doesn't believe in God or believes in something I don't believe in, like it doesn't make me think differently of them. So, you know, it's kind of everyone's just doing their own thing. And if you believe in like afterlife or, you know, something after this, like that's good. If you don't, like that's totally, like it's just everyone's kind of opinion. But I don't really like copy pastas in general.
Right.
Like who's got the time? But I'm not like ban that guy. You know what I mean?
Then let me ask you this. In terms of Twitch, what is your biggest gripe with Twitch, the streaming service?
I personally, I don't love to get financial about it because streaming for me was an outlet. I lost my job during COVID. We shut down for 2 months and it was something I could be social about. Like Colorado was like shut down. Like you weren't allowed to leave your house unless you were going to get groceries. So, you know, I would play video games and the games I liked, not everyone played. So I kind of started it as like a social thing to meet people and to keep me entertained. But now that I'm looking at it as a prospect to be my only career, I think the fact that they take 50% of your subs even after becoming a partner is really hard. And it's hard because like people say, oh, well, Twitch is suffering, but it's hard because, you know, someone that like me that has 1,000 consistent subs, like I can't even live off of that because it's, I get 50% of that, you know? So it's hard because, you know, I don't want to be like, ugh, Twitch, like give me more money and sound stingy, but I think that they can make it easier for people to like financially stream full time.
For sure. And I don't think there's anything wrong with, you know, feeling that way and you know, because there is a financial and business side to this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you know, this is something that I'm getting a little more serious about as well as, you know, Amy too. And, you know, those are things that have to be considered, right? So, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But for me, I would say I agree with you for sure. But I also, one thing that really, really frustrates me is forced pre-roll ads. I can't stand how you cannot turn off pre-rolls. You know how many people probably come to the stream and then leave immediately because they have to watch an ad for 30 seconds?
Yeah, I do it. I leave.
Exactly. And like how many of those people
I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go watch a friend. Yeah. It's tough. 100%. It's really tough. And I think being creative and clickbait, like it works, you know? Like I think my status today, I was like Sears' new abilities, which, you know, I wasn't even thinking about doing that until I saw the video, you know? So like being creative and making people want to wait those 20 seconds, it's hard and it's exhausting. And that's not something that like, you just want to turn on the streaming game, you know? I do want to say though, that like, I feel like Twitch does do well. Like, I think that there's a lot of things they are doing well too. And I think Twitch has been great otherwise, but it is hard, like that financial aspect, even for your viewer, like people that, you know, like it's their money at the end of the day that Twitch is getting half of, you know, so that's hard too.
So if somebody was a brand new streamer and they wanted to ask for a piece of advice, what one piece of advice would you give to a brand new streamer?
Oh God, just one.
Just one.
I think I would say definitely building content outside of Twitch. That has been the biggest thing. Like, I have kind of a okay following on TikTok and Twitter, so I think that would probably be the number one. Because a lot of people like come in here and they're like, "How do you have, 160 viewers, but you only have, I don't know, 18,000 followers?" Which ratio, it doesn't really like make sense. But I think that's why, because I'm new, but also I think because I post on every platform before I go live, things like that, which is what I think that would probably be it. And it's all marketing. Like Twitch, being a streamer and like creating content, you are marketing yourself and your brand to people. That's why TikTok is so good for streamers, because it's the best way, and TikTok is thriving because of it. And Instagram, YouTube, everyone is looking at that 30 seconds of engagement, getting people's attention span, and then like captivating them enough to like, oh, click on your actual profile, get you like, what is this? Who is this? What do you do? And getting them to your Twitch. If you don't have a social media, TikTok will grow you faster than anything else, because the amount of people that see your content, it's just higher. And people don't have to follow you to see your content.
Apex has the arena mode, right? And I think they've teased that, or it might be a rumor, I'm not sure if it's confirmed, that ranked arena is coming out next season.
Yeah, it's confirmed.
Okay, cool. I really like arena. I think arena is a lot of fun. What do you see 2 years from now as being more popular? The arena mode or the BR?
Well, if Apex doesn't fix some problems that it has, I'm not even sure it'll be around, to be completely honest. With like Halo and Battlefield coming out. And I say that like never being obsessed with a game like I am Apex. You know what I mean? So I'm not knocking Apex. I love Apex, but I can't even play ranked. Like, I literally want to cry when I'm playing ranked. It's so bad with DDoSers, cheaters, and the rev like meta. So it's hard to think about 2 years from now, but I think that ranked arenas is like gonna bring a ton more people to Apex. I just don't know if it's really gonna be beneficial as like a BR. Like, I don't know which way will be more popular, honestly.